Daktari a quick one. Kama K, kama Ibada, yet another one of these amazing episodes of Daktari a quick one. Na leo nawaletea nawaitanga wakalasinga. Nawaletea mkalasinga. Umse ni very interesting. I met him a few weeks ago and it just struck me that this guy has to be on Daktari a quick one. Therefore today I'm bringing this guy. He's number one, an entrepreneur. Mimi napendanga ma entrepreneur. Wase wako na vision, msana za run business na wapendanga sana. Other than that, he's also a leader, healthcare leader, and he's been in this space. He's going to be telling us his story, and he has a very interesting story about his training and medical school. Mara sijui alienda sijui shule ya iko sijui nini. So it's very interesting, and I hope you enjoy the story, and I hope you get to learn. For facilities, looking for people to manage your hospitals, people to grow with, this is your guy. So stay tuned. It's Dr. Samji. Irfan, something like that. Tatuambia venye jina yake na kwa pronounce. So stay tuned. See you in the fryer. Daktari a quick one. Daktari a quick one. Welcome to yet another episode of Daktari a quick one. Kama K, your host, Dr. Nyadimu. And today, mwaletea mkalasinga. Yeah, this is the first time we're having a non-black.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, we have to be inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
today we are hosting a very interesting doctor. He has a very interesting journey in medicine, and he's done a lot of things, and he's going to be sharing his knowledge, his experience with us, and we're going to have a good time. So Dr.
Awesome.
Samji.
Thank you.
Am I pronouncing that right? Samji.
Yes.
Samji.
Yes. Samji. It's the other names that are very difficult. So I won't even attempt.
Just say we try.
And Dr. Irfan Samji.
Irfan Samji.
Yeah, you see, you already messed it up.
Wait, I've messed it up?
The RFFR seems to confuse a lot of people.
Is it Irfan?
Irfan.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've always called you Irfan.
It's okay. It's okay. So Samji
I prefer Samji.
Yeah,
It goes
yeah.
easy. It rolls easier all the time.
Yes, it does.
So
Yes,
welcome
it
to
does.
Daktari a quick one.
Asante.
Pleasure to have you.
Asante. By the way, I'm Kenya.
We're in Kenya.
Born and raised in Mombasa.
Ah.
So
you're not white? We were having this discussion with someone the other day about they were telling me they do not like whites. They're okay with any other, Caucasian, any other non-black people. So I was asking, particularly whites, what do you mean when you say whites?
Yeah.
They're okay, wazungu wale whites. I'm like, okay, Indian people, okay. South America, okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? But white. You couldn't defend. So you're Kenyan.
Me, I'm Kenyan.
You identify as black?
No. I guess of Indian origin, but but if you put me in the middle of India today, I would not know my way around.
You've never been, or you?
No, they rejected my visa the last time I applied.
Really? They rejected your visa.
They rejected my visa, so never been to India.
That's
Don't know
quite
what it's like.
interesting.
Mombasa. I mean, Kenya is all that I know. Honestly,
born and raised.
Born and raised.
Wapi Mombasa? Mombasa or?
Mombasa.
Yeah. Okay. So Indian origin. So
Yes.
your parents are the ones who moved
No,
here?
actually, my
Your grandparents.
or great grandparents, one of them. But yeah, because my parents were born in East Africa. Tanzania, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think at that time it was just East Africa in general. So at some point they found their way into Kenya and then became Kenyan.
They
But
settled
otherwise,
in
yes,
Mombasa.
yes.
That's so I'm assuming your great parents came to build the railway.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The whites picked us from somewhere and brought us here, and now we're here. So
And now you're here.
yes.
So we're in Kenya, kabisa.
Mimi I'm Kenya. Yeah.
Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Amazing. So welcome to Daktari a quick one.
Asante.
So your introduction to Dr.
Dr. Samji.
Dr. Samji.
Yes.
Okay, tell us something about yourself, man.
That question has so much pressure. It's like when you go to a job interview.
Tell us more about yourself.
Like what in the almost 40 years of my life is so significant to summarize in a sentence?
But
or a minute.
have
or
you been
less.
an interviewer before?
I have.
Yes.
And I avoid
This is-
asking
this
those.
is
No, I
revenge.
avoid asking.
This is for everybody out there you have asked.
Oh gosh. All right. My apologies to anybody I ever interviewed.
It's a hard question.
But yes, I'm Dr. Samji, a medical practitioner, medical doctor by training. Currently, one of the lead medical doctors for Arkan University Hospital's Roy Sambu Medical Center. Also a family medicine resident. I've spent probably almost a decade in leadership at various positions within the Arkan development health system. As a board member, national board member for the Arkan Health Board for Kenya. I served as the operational management team, part of the operational management team for Arkan Health Service. That was back in Mombasa. As the quality and patient safety physician, also heading the infection control portfolio.
That was in Aga Khan, Mombasa.
Aga Khan, Mombasa. But of course, my role extended providing support across East Africa. So that would be Mombasa, Kisumu, Dar es Salaam. So there was quite a bit of
the entire
traveling.
Aga Khan in East Africa.
Yes. Arkan Health Service.
Wow.
Yes. So I think I'm about 2 years in now AKU, where I've served as the quality advisor for almost 2 years.
Wait. Okay, now you're starting to lose some of us. Aga Khan has a lot of structures that can be confusing.
Yes.
So there's Aga Khan University Hospital.
Yes.
And then there is Aga Khan Health Service, you say?
Yes. So there's Aga Khan Health Service, which originally majority of the hospitals under the Aga Khan Development Network fall under the Aga Khan Health Service. In terms of trading, officially, yes, even AKU falls under Aga Khan Health Service in terms of legal trading. AKU as a hospital was the Aga Khan Hospital before it then became the Aga Khan University Hospital, where it now supports as a teaching hospital for the medical school. Yes, but in terms of structures, administratively, we do have Aga Khan Health Service East Africa, which now has Mombasa, Kisumu, and Dar es Salaam. And then we have the Aga Khan University Hospital, which caters for Nairobi environs and Karachi.
Kampala one? There's one in Kampala?
Yes, Kampala falls under Nairobi.
Okay.
Yes.
So are these one and the same? Are they like two separate entities?
Historically, operationally, they've been two separate. Of course, at the very top, they do fall under one in terms of His Highness and his offices. Yes. So yes, top governance is one and the same, but at some point they both had different roles and functions locally on the ground. But there are a lot of there's a lot of effort now into trying to bring the systems together. So even recently, I think AKU hosted the quality conference for the Aga Khan Development Network's health systems or health network. So they're referring to it more and more as now AKDN Health Network.
So they want to bring it all together into one.
Trying to complement each other.
Aga Khan is huge, man.
It's huge.
You can't even finish. You can't even begin.
You can't. I mean, just AKU in under Nairobi has 55 outreach centers. So collectively, even bigger than the main hospital, if you think of it.
Yeah, it's more than the county referral hospitals.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So you've worked with them for, you said nearly a decade or more than a decade?
A decade, actually.
10 years.
10 years.
Okay.
10 years.
On the dot.
On the dot. On the dot would be December.
December this year.
But I think it's all I know.
All you know?
It's all I know. I was born in an Aga Khan hospital. If I die, I'd probably die in one. I studied at Aga Khan school, so
okay.
A bit biased. But yeah, that's all I know.
So all you know, you are Aga Khan in and out.
In and out.
Did you go to med school in Aga Khan as well?
Unfortunately not.
Because the med school, the undergrad is a bit young right now, right?
It's young here in Nairobi.
It's young in Nairobi.
Yeah, but I mean in Karachi, I think it's
Karachi is India.
No, Pakistan. Yeah, so
Pakistan.
It in the 80s is when the university started there. Yeah, so the medical college there is quite old, quite established.
It has always been there.
Yes, yes.
So where did you go?
Wow.
You're born and raised in Kenya. So, and then you said you went to Aga Khan. So I'm assuming
Mostly, except now for the
primary,
undergraduate.
high school Aga Khan.
Yes.
But then med school.
Med school, wow, you've taken me down memory lane.
Yeah, nostalgia.
Possibly even very bad memories.
Bad. I mean, med school is supposed to be fun.
I went to a fake medical school, but anyway, that's a story for another time.
What do you mean a fake medical school? And it's not a story for another day. It's a story for now. You went to a fake medical school?
I went to a fake medical school, and I think it's a conversation that we need to be having with young people who are getting out of school, trying to get into university. I think for me, I'm the first of my family to have actually finished a university, graduated with a degree.
Okay.
So there's very little that my parents could actually give in terms of guidance.
Oh, they didn't know.
They didn't know. So they had to trust that I know what I'm doing.
You weren't the first one, no?
I'm the last one.
You're the last one.
Yes.
So none of your siblings had been to university.
No.
Biashara tu. Eka duka.
No, actually working class. Yeah, working. But the school that I went to was very focused on providing guidance and counseling for students who wanted to go to the West, yes, but very pro-UK. Mm-hmm. So you almost had to, if you didn't have an application somewhere, then the school would almost have to have you apply through the UCAS system.
To go to the UK.
Whether you went or not, but they had to ensure that they did their part. You've applied. Uh-huh. So I had applied to do biomedical sciences at UCL, even though I knew I wasn't going.
Uh-huh. Oh, you didn't want to go?
No. Lots of aspects. Finance also one of them, so.
It's expensive.
Yes. I actually didn't even want to become, medicine was not a calling for me. There was no drive towards becoming, I became a doctor by accident.
Most people I talked to on this podcast actually did. But
really?
most of them, the story is always, including myself, that I overperformed in my high school, Form 4. Okay. I did so well. And then people were like, okay, why even, because for example, me, I wanted to do media things.
Right.
I was talking to Dr. Oduoribonvas just the other day, the last episode we did, and the guy said he wanted to become a pharmacist. They didn't understand it. But then when he got that A in Form 4, the guidance is like, you get an A, go to medicine. Don't waste the A. That is the word. Don't waste the A. So neither did you?
So I didn't do KCSE. I did KCPE, and then I did the IGCSE.
You went to IGCSE.
And then I did the IB diploma. Mm-hmm. So
IB stands?
International Baccalaureate. Yeah. So a lot of the Aga Khan academies now are IB schools. So they start with the primary curriculum is called the PYP, Primary Years Program. Then you do your middle years program, which is now the high school part, and then you do the IB diploma. So it's a very rigorous program in the sense that it prepares you much better than a lot of other courses, curriculum for university in terms of the intensity of the course, the assessments you put through, the projects, the essays, and things like that. The balance of academics and extracurriculars.
Quite intense.
Quite intense. So at that time, even the local universities didn't understand what the IB diploma program was. So, you can imagine going to University of Nairobi or More University and trying to say,
I have an IB diploma.
And they're like, where do I even start from? Where's your KCSE?
Exactly. That's what we know.
Yes. And it happened. It still is a problem because when I was applying for my M.Med 6 months ago, they still didn't. They wanted me to up to now. They wanted me to go to KNQA, to the Kenyan National Qualification Authority, to now equate
the IB diploma.
Everything, right from primary, IGCSE, IB diploma, equate it to KCSE. Tell us what all of that is equal to. Is it A, B, C, D?
What?
Yeah. Then you're given
at master's level.
At master's level. It doesn't matter that I have a medical degree, that I have a license. It doesn't matter. They wanted to see that equation to KCSE.
They want that KCSE.
Yes.
So did you manage to do that?
I managed. It was a lot of back and forth, but yes, KNQA is the body that does that.
KSNQA.
No, KNQA.
Meaning?
Kenya National Qualification Authority.
Oh, there is that.
So anybody who has studied, even in Kenya, so these are schools in Kenya offering international programs.
Yeah, they have to go
You would
there.
have to, equate it.
Okay. So how did you get to medical school now that you...
So I actually had, I was very passionate for journalism. But writing, creative journalism.
Okay.
So I was the founder of our school magazine at the Aga Khan Academy. It was called Shule Expose. And I got a part scholarship actually to go to Princeton University for journalism. But I didn't actually go, and I thank my parents for actually maybe knocking sense into me, because
They told you not to go?
well, the question my mom asked me is that, how is it going to pay your bills? Is it going to put food on the table? Journalism. Yes. Especially creative journalism.
So it was creative.
It was creative.
So these are writing stories and
writing
stuff
stories,
like
probably even articles for magazines, newspapers, things like that. I was always very good at English. And so I just found myself capitalizing on that at every point. But I was also very good in biology. So I knew that as a fallback plan, which was a fallback plan.
You can do something biology.
I can do something related to human beings and the body. But when I was applying, so now I had to think about what else, So when we go to the IB diploma, we had to now pick extra courses that you wanted to do, that you could do. So economics was one of them, and I enjoyed it. And so I said, I could probably do economics, so I could go and do business. And my mom says, whose business are you going to go and manage? So, and then, that got me thinking. And I don't regret it, because looking back at 2019, 2020, 2021, when we had the pandemic, we had journalists who actually lost jobs.
Yeah.
Couldn't put food on the table.
Businesses were closed.
Yes, but I was part of essential workforce,
And I was talking to a friend of mine who is a hotelier just the other day.
Yes.
And she was describing how the pandemic was bad for them.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, during the pandemic, doctors flourished.
Yes.
And I was even telling her, if I had qualified at that time,
Yes.
I think I would have made a very big stride in my career, because guys got very good jobs at that time.
Yes.
So it makes sense. So your mom told you.
Yeah, get in line, think about what you're doing. So then my fallback plan was to think about, what can I do with the human body? So we had these career counselors or coaches in school, in high school, who would sort of say, okay, this is how you're performing, this is what you're interested in. Why don't you target yourself towards this? My career counselor was the complete opposite. No motivation whatsoever. She actually said, because now I said, okay, medicine was always painted as a really tough program that you don't even think about it.
Which it is anyway.
Yes, for sure. So I said, okay, let me try dentistry. There was not a lot of information about dentistry that I knew of, Even in terms of academic requirements or university entry requirements, it was slightly less.
That's for Kenya, or now that's for UK?
That was international, because now you see I had to scrape Kenya off my list because I had not done KCSE. Kenyan schools could not understand it, so I had to look outside. Very interestingly enough is that AKU Karachi could not, I couldn't get in also, because for them they wanted so they wanted 3 sciences and a math or something of that sort. And it was very popular to have that kind of requirement in India, Pakistan.
Okay.
The IB diploma didn't allow you to do 3 sciences and a math. So you had to choose.
You had to have only 2 sciences.
2 sciences and a math. So I did bio and chem and then math. And then, but then you had to do like 6 programs. So you had to do English, you had to do language, you had to do economics, you had to balance everything out. So I thought, okay, let me do dentistry. And my career counselor said, you know what, forget it. You won't even get in.
Oh, because you don't have them.
Yeah, because now the entry requirements were 35 points out of 45. Medicine, you needed 38 to 42 out of 45. So IB diploma ranks, like each in my time, each course, each subject was 7 points maximum.
Okay.
So you would get 7 out of 7 or 6 out of 7 or whatever. Very, very tough to actually get 7. So
that's like now the top.
Yes. So now for you to get that provisional acceptance letter or something from a UK school or wherever,
You have to have.
you have to have a predicted grade. So that's what the career counselor would do, is get you your predicted grade and say, okay, I envision you getting this.
Okay.
We are sending it to the university on your behalf. And then they will give you a provision acceptance.
Even before the exam?
Even before. So it's on a condition that when your final results come out,
They should match.
you should match that or better.
Okay.
You know, so
Interesting.
that was the plan.
So Karachi said no.
You couldn't even you
didn't
didn't meet
even
the entry.
apply.
Yeah. So that it was out. India was out. So it would then mean if I had to, I would have to maybe take a gap year and take an extra science program under the IB diploma, get that, and then I'll say, okay, I have now an extra science. So I had to look for other schools. Didn't have to be UK, US, Australia. It could be Malaysia, whatever, you know, that would understand the IB program and probably take
This
me.
is where the fake university
This is where
comes.
the fake. Yeah. So I went to Dubai.
Dubs.
Hey,
Wow.
glamour and money, and it was fancy, everything in gold and shining.
Tall buildings.
Tall buildings. So timing was the problem, because I was in Mombasa. By the time I found out about this university, they were already finishing what they called a university fair.
University fair.
Yeah, which was in Nairobi, and I was in Mombasa. So there was not enough time for me to actually come here. Our results were not out. So I think they were coming out a couple of days later. This was now the final IB results. And the only way I found out about Dubai is that they had a very huge article for that university in Nation newspaper. So
Praising it.
yeah, like no, they were in Nairobi for a fair.
Okay,
So
okay.
you know, come in, get information, apply. So I got the contacts and I called and I said, look, I'm in Mombasa. You guys are done today. I can't come in. And they said, you know what? Send us your documents. We'll review them and then see what happens. As soon as my results came out a couple of days later, I sent. And you know, sometimes things happen so fast that you have to question. I never questioned.
Was it too good?
It was too good, but it was happening. So I'm like, sometimes when something's not happening, it's not meant to be.
Yeah.
This was just happening. So I was like, you know what?
Things are flowing.
Things are flowing, so I'm going. So and the tuition fee was affordable.
It's a good deal.
It's a good deal. More expensive than Kenyan schools, but cheaper than UK, US, Australia, you know. So I said, I need to Dubai.
It's Dubai.
Yeah. So I applied. And I got in, like, you know, they sent
You accepted the next day?
acceptance within the next day, 24 hours. you know.
Really?
Yes, but again, it's a provisional acceptance on the condition that you pay a deposit so that they secure your seat, because it's a
Oh
very
my
competitive
God.
program. And you know, you check out the school in on the website and it looks glamorous, because in Dubai,
They have buildings and all that.
tall buildings. And in Dubai, most of the universities are in academic city. So it's like an entire, you know, like Tatu City or Kwanzaa City or whatever that they've set aside for academic institutions.
Good.
So when you
So
check out,
it's among those now.
it's among those. So when you check out academic city, you see Murdoch University from Australia. You see lots of other. You see Indian universities, and then you see the one that I applied to right next to it. You know.
What was the name? Or it's defaming?
No, it's actually it's fine. I guess it's fine because it shut down.
Oh, it shut down.
It shut down. So it was called UEIMS. It was Universal Empire Institute of Medical Sciences, which they branded as an off-center campus.
For which university now?
For University of Seychelles, American Institute of Medicine, and a couple of other schools that they were sort of playing host for international students. So my university, officially the one I was enrolled into, was University of Seychelles, American Institute of Medicine. Main campus in Seychelles. Lovely campus is what from the pictures.
But you're
I'm
best
in the
Dubai.
off-campus center in Dubai, you know. And so,
And you
believe
paid.
me.
You paid?
So I paid. I mean, I
And you
paid.
joined.
So believe me, tuition fee was like $47,000 for the entire program. It's in the US, it's like, I think that much for like a year. Or half of that for a year. It's very expensive. I'd have to check what it was, but it
So
was
they were
very
telling you this is much cheaper than even the main.
much cheaper. So pay $10,000 deposit, secure your seat. Then the remaining you pay per year.
What a good tale.
Fantastic.
Too good to be true.
So I went there, Doc. Believe me when I say I was depressed from the word go. Because the hostels were apartments that they had rented, which is fine, doesn't really matter. But you go to the campus, it's not a building. It's a floor. It's like the third floor of a building. And it's not even that one floor. You're sharing that floor with another university. So I was like, shit, what's going on? But then, who do I? There are other students. I'm not the only one. And we had quite enough. I think we had 5 or 10 students from Kenya also.
Doing medicine.
Yes, doing. Now I was doing dentistry. But,
you were doing
yes,
dentistry.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And dentistry, they also looked more promising because we had labs there. Like as much as it was half a floor, but
there was a lab.
More than the medics, we had labs. So we had the dental chairs with the mannequin, head. You could do your practicals there.
You guys had invested, eh?
Everything, we used to work with wax structures. We used to make dentures and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
There has to have been a real dentist there at some point.
There was. Like our professors, our head of department was an actual dentist. But you're hired to teach students. You'll teach.
He didn't know.
He whether he knew or not. But I mean, I'm getting paid a salary at the end of the day to teach. Who cares?
And he was teaching you the real stuff.
And he was teaching us the real stuff. So and the medics on the other hand never had access to cadavers and things like that. So it was models, like plastic models. So you would just, even if you're doing spotters or vivas, the lecturer is just pointing to a structure on a plastic, model.
They even had vivas.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was an actual thing, we had exams and everything.
Really?
You would get results.
And you pay school fees.
So I did 2.5 years.
So wait, the money you're paying is actually being used?
Yes, they're using it.
They're using it to facilitate learning.
Yes.
They're paying lecturers.
In all fairness, it was happening.
So what makes it fake?
So what actually happened is that, and I was shit scared about going to a university that's on half a floor. But then who do I ask? So even when I ask the admin guys there, the lecturers, they would say, it's an off-campus center. So we have hundreds of other students, some doing clinical rotations in India, Pakistan, UK. The others at the main campus in Seychelles,
So they were like, maybe you'll go for other rotations.
Yeah, so at one point in time, you'll interact with them. So I said, fine. So this was an off-campus center for a school whose main campus is in Seychelles, but whose admin office is in Chicago, Illinois, in the US.
Wow.
So, everything was making it look so fantastic, but who do you ask, No. So I went along with it. 2.5 years done.
What year is this? So what year did you say?
2008 is when it started. So I did 2.5 years, and there was preclinical. So now it's time to go for your clinical rotations. So you had to choose India, Pakistan, or the UK.
At all these 2.5 years, you don't know.
I don't know because
2.5 years.
Who am I asking? It's under the guise of this is an off-campus center. So I don't know. Think about UON. You can have
they have
off-campus centers in Mombasa,
and some of them are actually pretty small.
Yeah,
anyway,
and you have like Mount Kenya University has like a couple of floors somewhere in Mombasa.
True.
So I went along with it. Now it's time for clinical rotation. So you have to decide India, Pakistan, or the UK. So that was apparently the contract that they had with those 3 countries. So Pakistan was a problem because there was a lot of unrest at that time, political unrest. So you would have to apply. By the time the school or the government officials in Pakistan would send an approval to Nairobi, it's 6 months later with the whole back and forth. So next best was India because UK was also, living expenses and whatnot. So I said, let me try India. So I went to the Indian High Commission and I applied and I got all my documents in, and they called me a couple of days later and they said, your visa is rejected.
Why? Because you don't recognize this university?
So yes, so apparently that university
it was yours at that time.
It was mine at that time. They had an agreement with a dental clinic. Just a dentist in some small town in India to train these kids who are coming in. So, you come into my clinic, I show you how things are done. As you're getting the hang of things, by the time you're in 4th year, 5th year, you do it on your own.
You can do it, huh?
Yes. So that triggered. By the way, before I got to clinical rotations, that campus in Dubai shut down because there was lots of drama in that school. There was a dorm master who committed suicide. He hung himself on campus.
So it's shut down.
It shut. Kids getting drunk and lots of complaints from here and there. So anyway, they got into a bit of trouble, I think, with Dubai. But in Dubai, I mean in UAE, you can just pack up from one emirate and set up shop in another emirate. So they moved now to an emirate called Ras Al Khaimah. So they had like the company that was hosting these universities had their own campus, which looked more like a university. So they had they vamped up their whole website, and they had grass and a lot of other things. Very nice. So, but when you go there, yes, the building is there, but it's in the middle of a desert. It's just sand everywhere. So I'm asking the admin guys, like, your website has even grass.
Where's the grass?
Where's the grass? So, and they have the audacity to say, if you imagine the grass, it's there.
Oh my God. So now India is saying you can't go?
Now India is saying I can't go.
Is that the time now you realize this uni is fake?
I still didn't realize, because now it triggered them to investigate. So guys from my university at the time, or the Dubai guys, are calling me and saying, why did you trigger this whole thing? Like,
It was you that triggered
it was me, because now they said you just had to apply as a tourist, like a tourist visa. You come to India, we will convert it to a student visa. And I'm like, you never said that. If you said it, I would have done it. But I went the official way. So and I had colleagues, classmates who had already finished, and they had gone to India ahead of me. So they were waiting for me to come. And they called me.
They went as tourists.
They went as, because I think for them they also had they could trace origin to India, so they had a family member there. You could just go in. So they called me a few days later and they said, guys, the cops came by. They put padlocks on this place. Like now they are stuck.
Really?
Yeah. So now I'm nowhere. I've 2.5 years down the line.
You're in Nairobi. You're in Kenya.
I'm in Kenya. What am I supposed to do? So I ended up then in China.
Wait. So, Daktari, you've closed the whole university. Single-handedly shut down an entire cartel, so to speak.
Yes.
Now you're in China?
No, I'm still in Kenya because I'm trying to figure out what am I doing with my life. And yes, I had family that was supporting me and paying tuition. And so how do you go and say, okay, you've wasted 2.5 years, So I had to look for a solution and a university that will, to some extent, even take credits for whatever I've done, So interestingly enough is that, okay, whoever the owner of this university was had put some good effort in, because there was temporary accreditation that was given by WHO. So all of this is, I didn't know that, if you're studying in a university outside and you want to come back and work in Kenya, you have to make sure that it's an accredited school. So you've got to go to the Commission for University Education. They have a big grey book. You look whether your university is even in that book or not.
That's in Kenya.
That's in Kenya, in Nairobi. I think in Gigiri somewhere. And that's a start. So now when you see that your university is listed in that book, then you see, is it like permanent accreditation or is it temporary accreditation? So this school had temporary accreditation from WHO for like 2 years. Then beyond that, there was no accreditation or approval given by WHO. So, they had a lot of back and forth. I think even the main campus from Seychelles moved elsewhere. So then it just happened.
So did they transfer your credits for the 2
No,
years?
so because we used to get transcripts for every year that we were done with. So I used to collect my transcripts. And I was just on Facebook and I happened to see now colleagues from Dubai who were in China now, and they had proceeded with university and they were in this campus in China. And so I had to ask them, how did you guys do it? What did you guys do? And so they sent me a contact of an agent who was in Pakistan. And who was organizing for applications and processing of students from anywhere in the world to go to China. And I was like, shit, what am I getting into all over again? Because it sounds fake again.
Sounds like
why are you in Pakistan facilitating applications for China? But now, because students were already in China, I said, let me give it a try. So yes, the usual script. make a deposit, make this, pay that.
The same
Thing.
And it didn't give you goosebumps?
It gave me goosebumps, but the hope was that I had seen pictures of the campus in China. I had seen the students who were there.
You knew now.
I knew something is tangible. So I got the whole process, and I went to China. They transferred credits partially. I think I managed to get into second year
of dental school.
Second semester of first year.
So
at least they
is that dentistry or
still dentistry? But when I landed on campus in China, by the way, beautiful campus, established in 1947, 15,000 students on campus. It was like a real university. I was like, okay, shit, this is what it's supposed to look like, So when I land on campus, they give you an ID, like a student ID, and mine said medicine, enrolled in medicine. And I'm telling these people, like, guys, I'm here for dentistry.
Really?
And I didn't pay attention to it, but like by the time I finish second semester, over there it's 2 semesters per year. So by the time I'm done with first year, I actually went and I forced and I said, guys, you need to change my ID to dentistry, BDS. So they changed it. And I went into second year and I finished second year. So in China, first 2 years you're grouped all together.
I think even in Kenya,
even here, right?
In Kenya, in the universities that have dentistry, pharmacy, and MBCHB, they're all first 3 years. The basic sciences, they're all the same.
Right. Dubai was different. So because you're dentistry, you just start off with dentistry. So even anatomy was head and neck anatomy.
Just that. Red flags.
So, but dentistry. So now I get to China. I've got credits passed for first semester. I finished first year entirely. I'm in second year, still grouped with everyone, pharmacy, dental, medics. You're in a lecture theater with almost 200 people. As opposed to, I think we were like 10 in Dubai. So
you're feeling what a university should be.
But even in China, out of those 150 or 200, they're like maybe 120 who are medical. Doing medicine. There were a few pharmacy.
And then the rest are
dentists. So each class had... So the university said we need at least minimum 5 in a program to be able to run that program for that year.
Okay.
So we would need 5. The class below me had like, I think 20 or 30
dentists,
dental students. The class above me had like 15, 20. Mine had 5. Bare minimum. 5 including me.
The least.
And I mean, there was hope because in my batch we had I think there were 2 girls from Canada. There was one from Saudi. There's, Kenyans. So unfortunately, by the time we finished second year, and now you're getting into third year, which is when in China you all branch out. So dental start dental. Out of those 5, 1 failed and got demoted. 1 went back to Canada. I think 1 got married and left or something, and I was literally the only one left.
Really?
So now my university tells me we can't run dental program
with just you,
because now you're going to third year. They can't allocate resources for just you. Third year, fourth year, fifth year. It's crazy.
It's a waste. Yeah.
So I'm like, now what do I do? So they said you either take a gap year and join your juniors, or you look for another school, or you do medicine.
Oh my god.
So I said, you know what? Forget it. I'll just do medicine. Whatever happens.
To hell with it. Let me be a doctor.
Yes, and then remember, at this point in time, I've only done head and neck anatomy.
Yeah.
My peers have done full body anatomy. The amount of self-study I had to do to learn all that, it was crazy, but I did it.
And this is in third year now.
This is now in third year, and I did it.
You have to do catching up and all that.
Catching up. So finally finished, got to...
It was 5-year or 6-year program?
6 year.
6-year program.
But 6th year was internship.
Okay.
So you're posted to an internship hospital. So
within China?
No, you go back to your home country. Yeah.
So you came?
I came back to Kenya. I was posted to Coast General Hospital. And it's the same situation. You're 3 months in IMED, 3 months in surgery. Until you're done, you're signed off, you go back for graduation.
You go back?
You go back for graduation.
To China?
Yes. You go back and you sit a graduation exam.
After doing internship?
After doing internship.
In Kenya?
Yes. Now that graduation exam includes everything you've done in 5th year and 6th year.
So there's no final exam before.
So there's final for 5th year, which you've passed. You've completed 5th year. Then you go back.
Go for internship.
Yeah.
Then you come and do now the final.
A graduation exam, which is everything. I made
so
surgery.
How did you do it? But in Kenya, you need to have graduated or be about to graduate.
Then I graduated and came back. Then I did the Kenyan internship. That was my university prescribed internship.
Oh, this was not internship.
No, this was not like the Kenyan internship.
What?
Not an MO intern.
No.
I'm a 6th year student. Yeah.
So but you're doing 3 months rotation.
Yes.
It's internship.
It's internship. I'm put on the rota. I'm doing night calls, everything.
Really?
I'm not paid.
That
was the difference. Yeah.
A whole year.
But then, fortunately, it was course general, so it's home. Mombasa, yeah. Finished, went back, graduated, came back.
Now,
and here we are.
Now did the board exam
Did the board exam,
Did the internship again.
Yes.
Did you go back to course general?
No, that's another story because I did internship in 3 centers.
You kept
So
moving.
I was posted in Homa Bay. I went to Homa Bay. It was a nightmare.
Ukapata huko bana. Mwindi anatuandikia dawa hapa bana.
No, forget that. There were quite a number of interns ahead of me. But there was nobody in my batch.
You went alone?
I went alone because like nobody else was posted to Homa Bay. Or maybe they were and they exchanged or something.
Yeah. People do change.
So
you went alone?
I went alone and the guys were like, people have been waiting for you. So the moment you've arrived, those interns have been signed off now. Now it's you.
The only intern in the entire hospital?
In the entire
those ones
hospital.
are finished?
Yes. First of all, Homa Bay at that time, whatever I was exposed to, Homa Bay was tiny.
The hospital, yeah.
Hospital was fine, but the town itself was tiny. Living situation was bad. It was very hard to survive, and then very far from everything that I was familiar with.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's like all the way across the country.
At least something in Nairobi would have been manageable or something, So I couldn't because then again you're the only intern, so you do your day shift, then you're called Daktari you're on call
at night.
You finish, you do your day, the next because you always post call, you still do the shift.
Yeah.
Then you're still on call that night. It's just you.
I know that situation.
Yeah. So I went back to Afia House and I said, guys,
I can't. Oh, this time you guys weren't going to KMPDC for internship issues. You're going to Afia House?
We were going to Afia House.